The film begins in the year 1956 with a tense and disturbing scene inside a church. A terrified priest rushes in, holding a small child in his arms. The child has a strange birthmark on his body, but this is no ordinary mark. It is a symbol of something dark, something evil. According to the priest, this mark is a sign that the child could grow up to become a devil, capable of causing unimaginable destruction. Driven by fear and desperation, the priest begins praying for forgiveness as he prepares to kill the child himself. But before he can do anything, the police arrive and stop him. The priest, in panic, begs them not to interfere. He warns them that they have no idea what consequences this child will bring in the future. Ignoring his warnings, the police see him as a threat and shoot him dead to save the child. And just like that, the child survives. The story then jumps forward 30 years. We are introduced to Merrick, the main character. At first glance, he appears to be a priest, but in reality, he is an undercover agent. He has been sent on a secret mission to investigate the mysterious disappearance of 7 girls. All of these girls were last seen entering a particular church, and none of them were ever found again. However, because the church is considered a sacred place, the authorities want to avoid creating a scandal. Instead of sending police directly, they send Merrick undercover. Once inside, Merrick meets priest Andre, who welcomes him and gives him a tour of the church. He shows Merrick his room and gives him a strange warning. He tells him that no matter what happens, he must never leave his room at midnight. If he does, he will be responsible for whatever happens to him. Merrick enters his room and immediately feels that something is wrong. The place is completely cut off from the outside world. There is no electricity, no mobile signal, nothing. Trying to stay focused, he begins to freshen up. But as he removes his shirt, a shocking truth is revealed. Merrick has the same devilish birthmark on his body. He is the very same child who was saved by the police all those years ago. But the most terrifying part is that he has no idea about his true identity. Determined to continue his mission, Merrick opens his hidden suitcase. Inside, he has files, a camera, and a gun. The files contain detailed information about the 7 missing girls. This is not just a simple investigation. Merrick must uncover what is really happening inside this church. Soon, he is called for dinner. As he sits with the others, he notices something disturbing. The food being served is strange. It has a foul smell, and its texture is sticky and unnatural. It looks like meat, but nothing like he has ever seen before. When he takes a bite, he struggles to keep it down and almost vomits. But to avoid suspicion, he forces himself to eat it, pretending everything is normal. Later, Merrick continues his investigation. As he walks through a dark corridor, he notices something unusual. On the other side, he sees a girl who appears completely unstable, almost possessed. A priest stands beside her, watching closely. Not long after, Merrick and the other new priests are gathered and informed about what happens in this church. They claim that this place is meant for exorcism. People who are possessed by demons are brought here to be cured. The girl Merrick saw earlier is said to be under the control of a demon. To prove this, priest Andre takes Merrick to a special room where an exorcism is about to take place. Inside, the girl is tied to a bed. Candles are lit all around, creating a haunting atmosphere. As soon as Merrick enters, the girl begins behaving in a terrifying way. Her voice changes into something unnatural. The bed starts shaking violently. An eerie silence fills the room. One of the priests is recording everything. When Merrick asks why, he is told that all of this is documented to report to higher authorities within the church. Then, the exorcism begins. The priest starts chanting powerful incantations. Suddenly, the crucifix in his hand catches fire. But despite the pain, he doesn't stop. He continues the ritual without showing any fear. The girl screams and writhes in agony. Her body twists uncontrollably. And then, suddenly, everything stops. The girl collapses. The room falls silent once again. It is believed that the demon has finally left her body. Everything Merrick witnesses during the exorcism deeply disturbs him. He had never experienced anything like this before. From that moment on, Strange and unsettling things begin happening to him inside the church. When he returns to his room and touches the mirror, it suddenly cracks under his hand. From behind it, he hears horrifying, unnatural sounds. It feels as if something is trying to communicate with him. Slowly, Merrick begins to sense a strange connection between himself and this place. But he forces himself to stay focused. He reminds himself that he is here on a mission. However, carrying out that mission is not easy. The daily routine of the people in the church is mysterious and controlled, leaving him with very little freedom to investigate. The next day, the same foul-smelling food is served again. Merrick forces himself to eat it once more. But this time, a new priest is unable to tolerate it. He breaks down and starts crying. Just as he is about to refuse the food, a priest standing behind him whispers something into his ear. Immediately, the boy falls silent and begins eating again, as if nothing happened. This behavior unsettles Merrick even more. After returning to his room, Merrick finally vomits everything out. At the same time, he begins experiencing severe pain in his tooth. When he checks it, something horrifying happens. His tooth comes out in his hand, and from inside that tooth, a bug crawls out and flies away. This completely terrifies Merrick. At that moment, he becomes certain that something is seriously wrong with the food they are being given. That night, he decides to take a bigger risk. He sneaks out and begins investigating deeper. He enters Priest Andre's room and discovers a hidden compartment, but what he finds inside is shocking. There is nothing religious there. Instead, he finds alcohol, strange DVDs, and recorded videos of the so-called exorcisms. When he watches these recordings, the truth becomes clear. Everything is fake. These exorcisms are staged performances, carefully created to fool others. The people running this place are not real priests. Determined to confirm everything, Merrick goes back to the exorcism room. There, he uncovers the entire setup. The crucifix that caught fire was actually a lighter with a hidden mechanism. The shaking bed had a vibrator installed underneath it. The eerie sounds were nothing more than recorded audio. And the girl, she was not acting. She was a victim. She had been injected with a powerful drug, forcing her body to react in unnatural ways. Under the bed, Merrick even finds the same injection used on her. The next morning, everyone gathers again for their usual routine. Today, Merrick is asked to lead the prayer. He begins in English, but the others immediately stop him and force him to speak in Latin. Instead of a real prayer, something else is recited, something unfamiliar and unsettling. Merrick is pushed aside. Once again, the same disgusting food is served. But this time, Merrick fully understands the truth. This is not a church. This is a lie. And now, he realizes that his life is in serious danger. In a desperate move, he burns all his investigation files. He wants them to believe that he has given up, that he is no longer a threat. With his gun and camera, he prepares to escape. But just as he is about to leave, he sees something that stops him. Some priests are digging a grave, and the body they are burying is the same girl from the exorcism, the girl they claimed to have saved. At that moment, Merrick makes a decision. He is not running away. He will uncover the truth. Determined, he heads toward the area where the so-called mad people are kept. There, a priest approaches him and reveals something unexpected. He tells Merrick that everyone already knows he is here to investigate. He also warns him that escaping this place is nearly impossible. The priest confesses that he too was once deceived and trapped here. He had tried many times to escape, but failed every time. Realizing that this man understands his situation, Merrick decides to trust him. He reveals his true identity. He tells him that he is a police agent sent to investigate the disappearance of 7 girls. He also reveals that one of those girls was the same one they performed the fake exorcism on, and killed. Hearing this, the priest finally tells him the truth. All the exorcisms here are fake, and they are done only for money. The priest finally reveals the truth. These exorcisms are not real at all. They are staged performances for a television show, and through this show, the place receives massive funding. Hearing this, Merrick feels deeply disturbed. Innocent people are being used and killed just for money and fame. He tells the priest that if he helps him uncover the truth, he will make sure to get him out of this place as well. But the priest gives no clear answer. He simply stays silent. Determined, Merrick continues his investigation. As night falls, he secretly makes his way into the basement. The moment he enters, fear grips him. The place is filled with human skeletons. Scattered around are teeth, likely taken from the victims who were killed here. Then he notices something even more horrifying. An eyeball, and it is still alive. It moves. Terrified, Merrick throws it aside, and as it hits the ground, it bursts open, spilling blood everywhere. The sight is too much for him. He begins vomiting uncontrollably.
But even that turns into a nightmare. His vomit is filled with bugs and flies.
Shaken to his core, Merrick rushes out of the basement and heads straight to the graveyard. He digs up the grave of the girl they had buried just the day before, but when he opens it, the grave is empty. The girl is gone. Before he can understand anything, someone attacks him from behind, covering his face and knocking him unconscious. When Merrick regains consciousness, he finds himself tied to a bed. The man who attacked him stands in front of him, watching closely. Soon, Priest Andre enters the room, carrying food. The same disgusting food. This time, it is served in 4 different bowls. He forcefully orders Merrick to eat it, but Merrick refuses and demands answers. No one explains anything. Instead, they try to force the food into his mouth. Merrick resists and throws it away. Enraged, Andre knocks him unconscious once again. When Merrick wakes up, he is tied again. But this time, the man guarding him has fallen asleep. Seizing the opportunity, Merrick frees himself. He pulls out the hidden gun strapped to his leg and attacks the guard. A brutal fight follows. In the end, Merrick manages to overpower him and shoots him dead. Without wasting time, Merrick rushes into the kitchen to uncover the truth about the food, and what he sees there shocks him beyond belief. The reality is far worse than he imagined. The meat they were being fed was human flesh, the flesh of the girls who were killed here in the name of exorcism. At that moment, the same priest who had earlier shown sympathy returns. This time, he tells Merrick everything. He admits that the food Merrick had been eating was the flesh of those 7 girls. According to them, these girls were sinners, and their bodies were used in this horrifying ritual. Merrick is completely shaken. Now, with a gun pointed at the priest, he demands to be taken to the church library. The priest has no choice but to obey. Inside the library, he shows Merrick an ancient book. This book reveals the darkest truth of all. This place is not a church. It is a cult. According to the book, every 800 years, a child is born with a special mark, a demonic child, and that child is Merrick. The ritual is clearly described. If that child is fed the flesh of 7 sinful women and then made to drink the blood of an innocent girl, he will transform into a demon. A new chapter of evil will begin. After learning all this, Merrick realizes the truth. Everything that has happened was for him. Without wasting another second, Merrick decides to escape. The priest tells him about a secret underground tunnel. He says he once tried to escape through it but failed. However, he believes Merrick might succeed. At first, Merrick doesn't trust him. After all, he is part of this cult. But then the priest shows him his back. It is covered in scars, marks of brutal punishment. He explains that he was tortured for trying to escape. Seeing this, Merrick finally believes him. Together, they enter the secret tunnel. It is long, dark, and silent. Carrying lamps, they walk deeper and deeper into the unknown. Finally, they reach the end. But instead of an exit, they find something else. A ritual setup. A demonic chamber. And in that moment, Merrick realizes the truth. The priest never intended to help him. This was all a trap. He was brought here to complete the ritual. Before Merrick can even react or escape, he is suddenly knocked unconscious. When he wakes up, the situation is far worse than he imagined. All around him, people are standing in red robes. Merrick finds himself hanging from a tree, his hands tightly bound, his mouth covered so he cannot speak. Now, Priest Andre and the others finally reveal the full truth. Everything that happened was planned. Merrick being sent here for investigation, the strange events he witnessed, even the clues he discovered, all of it was controlled. They made sure he saw exactly what they wanted him to see. Andre explains that they have been waiting for centuries for a child like him. A child born during a lunar eclipse, marked with the devil's sign. Such a child, according to them, is not human. He is born to become a demon. Andre then reveals something even more terrifying. Beneath the stone where Merrick is hanging, there is a well. And that well is not just a hole in the ground. It is the gateway to hell. They claim they have been protecting it for generations. They are not priests. They do not believe in God. Their true master is the devil. And Merrick was chosen for this purpose. The ritual begins. An innocent girl is brought in front of him. Without mercy, her throat is slit. Her blood is collected into cups. One by one, the cult members drink from it. Then, they force that blood into Merrick's mouth, holding his head up until he swallows it. The transformation is supposed to begin now.
Merrick had already been fed the flesh of 7 sinful women. Now, after drinking the blood of an innocent girl, he is expected to become a demon. The cult members wait in anticipation. They chant spells, calling upon dark forces to enter his body. But nothing happens. Merrick remains exactly the same. And then he starts laughing, a loud, mocking laugh. He looks at them and ridicules their beliefs, asking if anyone has ever truly become a devil like this. His words shake them. Panic spreads among the group. Centuries of waiting, countless sacrifices, all of it seems wasted. But there is another problem now. Merrick is a key undercover agent. He has been missing for weeks. The police have already started searching for him. If they arrive here, everything will be exposed. In fear, the cult decides to kill Merrick and throw his body into the well, the so-called gateway to hell. At the same time, the man who had pretended to help Merrick becomes furious. He realizes he wasted his life believing in this ritual. In anger, he kills Andre by suffocating him and lies to everyone, saying that Andre died due to excessive drinking. Meanwhile, the cult members begin burning the bodies of their victims to erase evidence. But something strange happens. Andre's eyes remain open even after death. As everyone watches, a crucifix suddenly turns upside down in front of him. A fly lands on his body and then flies toward the well. The same well where Merrick's body was thrown. The fly enters Merrick's body, and suddenly, his body moves. A violent jolt runs through him. His eyes snap open. Something is changing. His body begins twisting unnaturally. Thick veins appear across his face. His skin turns blue. He is no longer human, and no one notices. The scene shifts to Andre's funeral. As the ritual proceeds, something horrifying occurs. His body suddenly rises into the air. His head bursts open, releasing a swarm of flies. Within seconds, his entire body dissolves into those flies and disappears. And then, Merrick returns, but not as the same man. He has become the demon they were waiting for. The ritual was never wrong. They were simply too impatient. Terrified, the cult members try to run away, but it is too late. Merrick lifts them into the air and hangs them upside down like inverted crucifixes. One by one, they are destroyed. Outside, the sky turns dark. Heavy clouds gather, covering everything in shadow. A sense of unstoppable doom fills the air. The demon has risen, and now, nothing can stop the destruction that is about to begin. The film ends on this terrifying note.